Greetings and welcome to this video. Welcome to the channel. I am Kat Morgan and I welcome you to this video, to this channel, and to this space. Now, this is a timeless reading for the collective, so whenever and however you come across the video, it is the right time for you to be getting this message. And as I put in the title, this is the last video that I'm going to be posting on YouTube. I tried to record this just a few minutes ago, and the the recording didn't work. So we're going to try it one more time, and hopefully it works this time. But yes, I am moving off of YouTube. They keep they keep changing the platform, and they've now removed the search parameters for you to be able to prioritize your searches on YouTube by videos that have been recently uploaded. Now you only have two options. You can only find they're only going to give you a choice of looking for relevance or popularity. So if it doesn't have 1 million views, you're not going to see it. So little channels like this one, like mine, that are humans, that are just, putting out content for people for no reason except to just be helpful, to be kind, as we see in our reading today. Yeah, we're being penalized as a result. So I'm not staying with the platform. I'm moving, and I encourage all of you guys to follow me over there. It's very similar. You don't have the option of doing playlists, but everything else works just the same way almost. And it's mostly human content. I don't find a lot of AI stuff on there, and the channels aren't being multiple reproductions of each other. You're only going to see a lot of original content on there, and especially, of course, from me always. So with that little bit of rantingness out of the way, let's get into the reading. So what card are we looking at today? This is from the Cat Mythos and Magic Oracle deck by Caprino. And this is card number 22, Practice Kindness and Charity. And this is an extremely important message that is being brought forward for us, for a collective, as the collective today. In this reading, we have number 22. Obviously, we know 2 plus 2 is 4, so it reduces down to a 4. And 4 is the door. 4 is an action card. This is not a laying down, resting, taking a nap card, despite what it looks like here on the picture. And this is a white Angora, beautiful little kitty, and is a favorite of the Prophet Muhammad. And there's more information that we'll get into when we look in the reading from the book, but I just want to look into, feel, and experience the energy coming from this card of complete support, complete acceptance of the planet, of life, of the world, of the universe. This is such calm, open, receptive energy. And that's really what we are all, it's the way we were designed to be. We weren't supposed to be living in survival mode forever, where we are expecting the worst case scenario, where we are constantly defending ourselves and attacking others. That's not our normal state of being now. We are bigger than that. We are better than that. And we have the ability to be able to be kind, to be able to be charitable. And we're not talking about money here. That's a tiny little piece of it. But I do a lot of walking. I don't have a car yet. I just started a full-time permanent position at a law office. So this past week has just been absolutely crazy. I don't have a car yet, so I do walk to work in the morning a lot of times, or I'm taking the bus to get out there until I can get a car. And there's always opportunities to be kind. When I'm on the bus, as I get off the bus, I always thank the drivers. Thank you, driver. Always, very loud. As an example, this is not a quiet card. This is a card of action. This is a card of doing, not just being, but doing. Practice kindness and charity. Not be kind, Yes, you must be in order to do. But I'll tell you what, the more you do, the more you be. Okay? Just like in the negative, when we are focusing on all of the horrible things that are happening around us. And I'm not even going to start listing them. If you even just see thumbnails of news broadcasts nowadays, the headlines are just insane. This world is going crazy, and we're letting it by our non-action. So how do we change that? We become the example that we want others to follow. We don't follow their example. We lead. We are leaders. Everyone who listens to this video is a leader. You know how I know that? Because you're listening to the video. You're following this channel. Or you found the video by accident, but you didn't click off. You were curious. What is this all about? What is this Cat Morgan person? Just a human. No AI here. Not that I'm opposed to AI necessarily, but it's supposed to be a tool, not a crutch, and not a way of being. And we're losing touch with our humanity. How do we bring it back? We bring it back by being kind to ourselves and kind to others, regardless of their situation, regardless of our situation. I didn't change my kind routine simply because I got a job and I'm going to end up with some money at some point when I get paid. That's not what it's all about. I've had a long running $10 a month donation going to the local food bank here in town. Regardless of my finances, I always made sure that $10 was available for them. Do I expect any kind of reward for that? No, I'm doing it because my heart breaks when I see people. Sorry, get a little emotional there. I do when I see people on the street, whether they have cardboard signs or they're just kind of shuffling along. Your heart breaks, So practice kindness and charity. This is our door that we are being invited. We have the invitation. This is your passport to move forward into that space where kindness, compassion, acceptance, receptivity, understanding, patience, those are all part of being kind and charitable. Those are all necessary for us to be able to thrive, not survive, but thrive as a species, as a planet. If you have any idea of, whether there are other creatures in the universe that are conscious and sentient and maybe traveling here or whatever, or interdimensional, I can guarantee you that our evolution is part of that whole process where when we are paying attention to negative stuff, that's the kind of energy we're going to continue bringing to us, and we're going to have experiences that come out very negatively. But when we promote kindness and understanding and love and compassion, where we do things without expectation of reward, without expectation at all. I don't expect a wave from the driver as I'm getting off the bus. I just want to tell them thank you. It doesn't matter what they do. I don't care what they do. They can do whatever they want. Most of the time I get a wave and a smile and a thank you in return. I saw a friend, and I will put that in quotes, on Facebook recently had posted, they were mad because they were doing these things for somebody and not getting any kind of acknowledgement on it. And I'm like, why are you doing it? Why are you doing these things? If you're doing it for the acknowledgement, it's for the wrong reason. We should be doing those random acts of kindness, paying for the coffee in the car behind us when we're in the Starbucks, drive-through. We need to bring all of that back because we're losing it, and we're losing our grip on humanity as a whole. But let's take a look in the book before Kat gets too far in the tunnel on that and see what our Card number 22, practice kindness and charity, says for us for today. This is our message, and this is White Angora, our kitty. Our message: be kind to all, and kindness will be returned to you. Charity in any form will rebound in your life as well. And I will just add on that, don't do it with the expectation that it's going to be returned to you, because it won't always be returned to you in that instant, in that moment, in that experience, in that circumstance. But for every person that I say thank you to, somebody comes along and opens a door for me. Somebody comes along and stops traffic so that I can go through an intersection without getting creamed. You know, somebody does something like that, and they're not expecting me to say thank you, but oh, you know I do. Turn around in the crosswalk, man, and wave to them. Thank you, appreciate it. Thanks for not running me over, you know. And people are in a hurry. I get that, but we need to slow down. We need to pay attention to what we are doing, what we are saying, what we are thinking, because our actions are going to define our lives, plain and simple. No, nothing else to add on that. So, all right, that was our message. Here's the mythos. Here's the legend, or the spirit, the spiritual on this, from White Angora directly to you, whispering to you the special blessings of kindness and charity. The White Angora encourages acts of giving to those in need without expecting anything in return. Reach out in kindness now, because now is all you have. White Angora brings a profound spiritual message. Appreciate the goodness of life that surrounds you and share it with an open heart. Whether you have $1, whether you have 5 minutes or 5 seconds, whether you have an extra coat, pair of socks that don't match anymore, do what you have with what you've got to promote more of the same. Okay? And what is our story about this little guy in particular? Muezza is his name. Muezza. Prophet Muhammad's love of cats is well known. Some believe that the prophet's cat was a White Angora. One story tells of him finding his beloved cat Muezza sleeping on the sleeve of his prayer robe. Not wishing to disturb the feline, Muhammad cut the sleeve off the robe and went to pray. When doing a kindness to the animals of the world, the universe will in turn treat you well. And yes, that is absolutely true for all animals, for the plants, for the soil, for the air, for the water. We've been given this planet as a gift, and we're we're destroying it. We need to be more aware of our actions in terms of how it affects everything. There is no inconsequential act that you do. You are not inconsequential. You are extremely important, and everything that you do has huge significance in your life and in all of our lives, because we aren't just connected energetically, which we are. We know this to be true now in quantum mechanics and in quantum physics. We understand that all things are connected energetically from one part of the universe to the extreme other end. There is no separation. So there is nothing that you do that's not important. Everything you do is important. Okay? I love that story. I'll tell you what, my little cat Abby, if I tried to do anything like that, it would instantly wake her up, and then she would just move. She wouldn't want to be hanging out anywhere where there's, people moving stuff around. But I love that story, and I love the picture Little Mueza on his prayer rug. Looks like, just being himself, full of love and acceptance and peace. And then when I pulled this card from the deck, the next cards that I pulled were from the You Are Possum Positive Affirmation Motivation deck. And what was the first card that I pulled? I am kind. I laughed. I'm like, well, okay, this is obviously not a mistake. There is an important message to be had here, and we're going to find out what it is. We're finding out what it is. The main reading was the first part of it, but all of these cards have little messages on the back, and usually I take pictures of those guys, but this week, first week back, full-time job in an office with all of the walking and bus and everything, I'm exhausted, and I only got the one picture for this part, but we will read the back. So let's find out. First of all, I just have to say I love this picture. I am kind, and he's surrounded by love, and he's holding his little hands together. Just it's not a heart shape, but if a cat could do a heart shape, that's exactly what he's doing right there. And from his heart, he's sending this channel of love. Sorry, I do get emotional with these things, but just beautiful little energy. I am kind. Say thank you. Yes. Say thank you. Express verbal gratitude. Craft a handwritten note. One of my dearest friends here in Albuquerque, we live on opposite sides of the city, but we get together probably once a week for coffee or whatever and chat. We also exchange postcards in the mail to each other. And yes, we live in the same town, but there's something amazing that happens when you put pen to paper that doesn't happen with the electronic communications. It doesn't happen with texts or emails. Those help, but there's something about a handwritten note. You don't have to put it in the mail. When was the last time you said thank you in handwriting to anybody at all? We just had the holidays. Christmas just passed not a month ago. And did anybody get any handwritten thank you cards from anybody? Even in your family where you guys all live in the same house? Maybe we need to start doing that. Leave little post-it notes on the window or on the mirror in the bathroom, right? I love you. Have an awesome day, right? Express verbal gratitude. Always, always to all people without expectation. Don't be looking for the response. That's not why you're doing it. You're doing it because you're genuinely grateful for them and for your life as well. Craft a handwritten note. Reciprocate their kindness. Present a heartfelt gift. And again, those can be as simple as just a little heart on a piece of paper that you just slide over to somebody under their plate as they're sitting eating their food. I love you. Just do that. Our action card. These are things that we are needing to be doing. And be loud. Be loud. When I'm exiting the bus and I'm saying, thank you, driver, I don't say it quietly. I'm like, thank you, driver. And I make sure that it is directed to them. Anybody else that's on the bus is hearing me do that. And you know what? They are much more likely to be doing the same thing because I did it. People want to follow other people's examples. It's why we have followers on the YouTube channel. It's why you have followers on Facebook. People follow others as a instinctual response. We see somebody going along and we're like, well, they're cutting the path, so I don't have to do it. So it's less work for me. I'm just going to follow them. Make it easy for people to be kind by being the example of kindness yourself. Okay? No matter how you choose to say thank you, make sure it is genuine and coming from the heart, heartfelt, that you can feel it. Okay? That's what this little guy is feeling, his heart, feeling his gratitude, and communicating it to us. Beautiful, beautiful card. Beautiful cards. This reading from today is just, it's got me for sure. What's our next card? I am young. I know I've seen this card come up in at least one, maybe two readings previously from this deck before. I love it. And I love how those first two cards, the first one's got the little hearts thing surrounding him. And this one with I am young, diamonds, energy. This is powerful stuff. If you have an opportunity to just kind of have your hand hover over the screen of these cards here, you'll have to share in the comments if you want to, but there's such amazing energy coming from these cards. I am young. What you feel is how you experience life. So if you are expecting to feel old, if you are expecting to feel tired, if you're expecting to feel sore, whatever, sick, then that's what's going to happen. If you are expecting to feel young, if you're expecting to feel happy, if you're expecting to feel energetic, you will as well. I think in a previous video I had posted about saying, I feel amazing. I feel awesome. I feel powerful. I feel strong. I feel healthy. When you say these things out loud, your body hears it. Your mind hears it, and everything will shift. So if you're feeling a little dragged down and tired, as I know I was before I started this reading, I am not anymore, as you can tell. I just encourage you, consider how you are feeling and adjust it accordingly. They have done studies. They did a whole group of people where they brought in a whole bunch of people that were like in their 70, 80-year-olds with walkers and canes and stuff. And they had them set up in this big hall where they stayed over a weekend or something. And everything was all decorated to show from like the 40s and 50s, from when they were kids, when they were growing up and young adults. And they had no exposure to anything from the modern current world for that weekend. They were listening to music and watching movies from that era and doing that kind of stuff, wearing those kinds of clothes, that type of attire. And by the end of the weekend, most of them weren't even using the canes and the wheelchairs and the walkers anymore. They were actually tested to be brighter, more I'm going to lose the word, but just the brain function was better. You know, the one the C word that I'm looking for. They were more physically strong. They were obviously more just on top of it. They felt younger. Now, what happened, they did a follow-up and they went back to feeling old again and acting old. And you know, several of them died shortly thereafter or whatever. But the point is that at that time, during that weekend, they didn't feel old anymore, and they weren't acting old, and they just didn't identify it as that anymore. And it changed them. And as if they had just stayed in that mind space, they would have stayed in that physical space. It starts in the mind, and it goes from there. Let's see what it says on the back of this card. You are never too old to feel young. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Age should never be a barrier to pursuing your ambitions. Stay youthful in spirit and curiosity. That's a big one, guys. Be curious. Be loud and curious. Embracing vitality and a mindset that transcends age. Stay enthusiastic, determined, and ready to conquer, because life's too short to let age slow you down. Amen, amen, amen. Absolutely, absolutely. What is this less is more now? Where is this coming in on the acts of kindness and charity? I'm always curious how these cards all combine and work together, integrated. But this one's got me a little curious. What is less is more? I love this little guy. This plant is not a big, full, luscious, beautiful, tropical tree plant thing. But this little guy is making sure that it gets the attention that it needs. I love that. I think that's amazing. And I'm a big plant person anyways, and we were talking about, being kind to plants. So there's the connection. There's the connection. I didn't even have it before, but there it is right there. There it is right there. In a world that constantly bombards us with messages of more is more, it's easy to lose sight of the true value that less is more. Just think about that for a second. True value lies not in the abundance of possessions or experiences, but in the depth and richness of what we have. It's about seeking quality over quantity and prioritizing substance over superficiality. Wow. Yes. And absolutely ties in with kindness and charity. Start going through your stuff. We just had a recent holiday. Everybody is kind of in New Year's mode, still a little bit, with our resolutions and our plans, our goals for 2026. But take a moment to sit back and just think about what you might be able to let go of that is in your life right now. Maybe it's time to go through the closet. Find those socks that don't match. The dryer puts them in the black hole, the sock black hole drawer. You know what I mean? Things that are chipped that you don't really use very often. Start getting the stuff that you don't want out. Focus on quality rather than quantity. Okay? It's better to have a beautiful vase than 20 plastic containers, right? So pick quality over quantity. But also keep in mind that there's a lot of various things that you could be contributing those kindness and charitable acts to. Pick quality over quantity on those as well. I have a little $10 a month donation that I have running. It's automatic from my bank to the local food bank here in town that I've had running from the time that I moved here, because that's just something that I've always done. It's not a lot, but it's going to some place where they can take that small amount and turn it into something much larger to help others that are in need. And in that instance, less is actually more, because if I bought $10 of groceries, I wouldn't be able to provide nearly as much as what they can do with the $10, because they have all of these resources available to them as a food bank that I don't have. So sometimes less is more also in terms of how we are donating those acts of kindness and charity. So keeping all of that in mind, let's be loud, okay? Let's be vocal. Let's be obvious in our acts of kindness and charity. Let's stop hiding our light under a bushel. Just don't know why that just all of a sudden showed up in my brain, but don't hide your light. We need you to shine. We all need each other to shine. We are all connected, not just energetically, but what you do affects your family, and then your individual family members go off and they have people that they're interacting with. There is no separation, and there is no inconsequential act. There is no unimportant person. You are important, and what you do matters. So that is our reading for the day. I do hope that it resonated with you and blessed you. As I said, I am moving over to Rumble, so this will be the last video that I post here. I am planning on posting a new video tomorrow before I have to go back to work the next day, Monday through Friday. But I will be posting a regular, we're going back to the Thoth Tarot and Angel Messages on Rumble. So be sure to follow me over there. And again, it's not going to be a monetized channel. I won't have any control over ads if they show up. You guys will have to let me know in comments if they are. But I love you. This is an amazing day. This is a momentous day. This is your opportunity to take your love and your light and shine it bright for everybody. So with that, I will release you now from this video. Thank you so much if you are still here. I love you. Have the most amazing, fantastic day. Namaste and ciao for now.